Just first off, just so proud of our team. It wasn't our cleanest game. We turned the ball over. We certainly had some special teams miscues. That might be as hard as I've ever had a football team play for 60 minutes. The competitiveness, it was just an outstanding effort. And first off, NC State's a really good football team. That was a great football game, a high level game against two really good teams, a lot of great players. And it came down to really the final play. And, so I have a lot of respect for Dave and his staff and their football team. And at the same time, I'm really proud of our guys that we found a way to win. What a night. I mean, just to have all the students and all the fans rush the field, to have a packed house. It was a big time college football game, and it was a big time environment. And again, what a great job by our students, our fans, and everybody who showed out, and even the NC State fans. They were great and added to the atmosphere. But it took a complete team effort to win that game. And, our defense played a lot better than the score would indicate. A lot of those points were off of the kickoffs and short fields. And, it's fun to play in games like this, and it's even more fun to win them. So proud of our guys, but we got work ahead of us, and we'll enjoy this one. And then we got to head to Clemson next week.
Dave, can you walk us through the defining drive?
You called this a championship.
Can you walk us through the defining drive where you went the full length of the field with 6.5 minutes, and what you were thinking there with slowing down the pace a little bit?
Well, at first they scored and got 2, and we were up 3, and you're kind of thinking you got to play with normal tempo, because if you don't score and they score, you want to have time. You want to have time to come back. And then once we got it inside of 4 minutes, at that point, we started bleeding the clock, and we were pretty much going to say that we were either going to win it or lose it on that drive. And, I thought our offensive line did a heck of a job. I mean, we didn't run the ball very consistently all day, but that last drive, we really made some tough runs against some really good run surfaces. And I just thought our O-line kind of took over at the end there.
Dave, you said last week you called this a championship game. Would you go as far to say this is as big of a win as you've ever gotten here?
Oh, Josh, I don't like to go. I mean, every ACC game we play in my mind is a championship game. So we knew that, to win the Atlantic, that this was a really critical game. We were first and they were second in the standings. And if we didn't win this game, then we needed help. And I view next week as a championship game. We have a chance to clinch the Atlantic, and Clemson is still in the running. And so there's, I believe, still 3 teams that could still win the Atlantic, and we're one of them. So these are all championship games, and, it wasn't the championship game, but a championship game.
Dave, you talked about your depth all season. 9 guys caught passes tonight. You had a couple receivers down. I mean, talk about how big that was, because, the running game wasn't as strong as it usually was, but just talk about the reception, the guys that made the catches tonight.
Yeah, we got a little banged up at the slot, and we had to put Taylor Marin in there, and he really played well. And, Torian had the touchdown, but we dropped a lot of balls tonight. I think we dropped more balls tonight than I can ever remember us dropping. And I don't know if it was, the weather or anxiety or what it was, but, I certainly don't feel like we played a very good offensive game tonight. Even though we scored 45 points. I mean, we certainly moved the ball at the end, but, we weren't as clean as we usually are. And, we threw picks. We threw 3 picks, which is unusual for Sam. But when we had to make it at the end, those guys made it. And I really thought Donald Stewart stepped up it made some really big plays for us. Brandon Chapman made some huge plays, one for a touchdown and two for third down conversions. And, Justice Ellison, the catch that he had for the touchdown on a hot read was a really heads up play.
Dave, how much resilience did your team show? I mean, you give it the 2 touchdowns late in the first half, and then they ran the opening kickoff back. What does it say, especially after last week, the way they kind of hung in there and bounced back from that?
Yeah, I'm proud of them. Again, that's a good football team, and we knew it was going to go 4 quarters. And, whenever you play a team the caliber of NC State, even when you get ahead, you never feel safe. You're not going to pull away from them. They're too good. They're too talented. They're too well coached.
Dave, how concerned are you about the health of your team, considering how many guys went down? What can you tell us about Roberson?
I mean, I'll know more tomorrow or Monday, Josh. It's just after a game, you really don't know until the doctors have a chance to look at them the next day. So, I'm always concerned, but it's week 11 in a college football season. There aren't too many teams right now that are healthy.
Dave, it seems like it was like last week now, but JJ Roberts made a couple
Go ahead,
plays
Les.
early. I said it seems like a couple weeks ago now, but JJ Roberts made a couple big defensive plays early in the game. How big was it for him to kind of step into a bigger role and make those plays?
Well, with Kalen and Gavin down, his role stepped up, and I thought JJ did a great job. He really, we moved him from nickel to corner this week, and he picked it up, and he had a great week of practice. He was very intentional, very focused, and, I think he played really well, did a great job for us.
Anything else for Coach?
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yep. See you on Tuesday. Thank you.
Yeah, Donald, was wondering if you could talk about the receivers stepping up tonight. I mean, obviously you guys, needed to with Jakari out, but just talk about what you guys were able to do tonight from the wide receiver perspective.
Yeah, I think that, excuse me, coming into this game, Coach R had a great game plan set out for us. Just on the receiver side of the ball, Coach Higgins just harping on the details all week. So happy for the guys who stepped up, Taylor Morin, Jamal Banks, all guys, Keyshawn Williams, praying for Q to get healthy soon, but I'm just so happy for other guys that make big plays in the clutch.
And was it a type of game where you thought whoever had the ball last was going to win? Is that what it was shaping up there toward the end of the first half?
Yeah, that's what I thought at first, but Nick Anderson and those boys on defense played really, really well. So happy for the defense. Coach Hemphill did a good job. All those guys on the defensive side did a great job executing, playing hard to the whistle. So full team effort tonight.
Well, can you give us an idea of what this does for team confidence and also maybe what it took to pivot from last week into this game?
Yeah, great question. I think that last week we took that loss pretty hard. We came in and watched the film, made adjustments, and then after the 24-hour rule, we were moving on to the next week. So we knew we had a big opponent coming in at home. We knew it was at stake, and we had a great week of practice, prepared our butts off all week, coaching staff, training staff, down to all the players, the freshmen. So we knew what it was coming in, and we couldn't lose at home this game.
What was the
Donald,
scene like on the What was the scene like on the field when guys are and all the fans are streaming out there and celebrating? Describe where you were when that was happening.
Oh man, it was one of the best feelings of my life, man. Just have Deacon Nation behind us from start to finish this whole entire season. But especially these home games, they even travel to the away games, but after the game and they all storm the field, man, it was just amazing experience. And I'm just so happy to be here at Wake Forest, and shout out to Deacon Nation, man. They showed up hard this year.
All right. Hey, Donald. Hey, Andrews Norton Stats Network. Congratulations on the team win. In addition to preparing for next week game film and what have you, what do you think are some takeaways that are going to help you leading up to next week?
Yeah, great question. Thank you. But I think we just got to get healthy. We got some guys banged up. So just get in the training room, assess that, get healthy, make some adjustments after looking at the film. And, just taking it day by day, man. And we'll get ready to prep for Clemson once we clean everything up from tonight.
Donald, how important is it for you guys to control your own destiny? Coach Clausen talked about that. You just keep winning. I mean, is that key going into these last two games?
Yeah, Coach Clausen, every week on our team meeting, Tuesday mornings, is about going to 1-0 each week. So we're never focused on like the ACC championship or 3 or 4 games down the road. We're focused on the task at hand rather than the outcome. So that's the process goal, the daily goal of winning each rep at practice, having a great period, whether it be Skelly or team. Then, we're focusing on one day at a time, taking it from there and executing when we can on game day.
Hey, Donald, this offense has kind of clicked along most of the season, but tonight Sam threw 3 picks. Was there ever a time where you guys just kind of thought this might not be your night?
No, Sam, he got us on the sideline, the whole offense. He said, listen, guys, we got to rally around each other, right? Running backs, O-line, tight end. You saw Brandon Chapman make some huge plays, down the clutch. So Taylor Marin making some big plays. So Sam has all confidence in everybody. And he made sure that when we got out there, he was coming back to us, and we just had to step up. And I'm so happy for Sam, man. He's been a true leader and a true warrior all season long.
Donald, is there anything you can do when you see Sam dealing with pressure, just as far as being a wide receiver and trying to figure out how to help him alleviate some of the pressure they're bringing with blitz stuff?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. It's tough because this year Sam's been a dual threat quarterback. He's running all over the place. So sometimes I don't know whether to block or whether if I should try to find some space and get a catch. So he's had some big scrambles this year. He has some scrambles today. And I think that as a receiver, I'm just trying to make a decision on the fly, whether to get open or whether to block for him. Because either way, he's going to try to make a play.
Asking you about being on the field after the game again, were you one of the guys that were hanging out here a long time and the PA was trying to get your attention, or how long were you out here just kind of experiencing all that?
Hey man, I was out there until they forced me off the field, man. This is my last time at home, man, so they had to kick me out. We grinded out here during a spring ball, came out here during camp. This is my last time on the field. So I gave it everything I had for this last game, and I'm so glad we got the win. Big team win for the Deeks, man. Go Deeks, baby. Let's go.
Anything else for Donald? All right, thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
All right, guys, we got Trey Red here. Questions for Trey Red?
Trey, could you go through the fumble that you recovered and brought back and play unfolded, and how big of a play that was in the great scheme of things here?
Any situation like that, we treat turnovers like gold around here, and we focus on it each and every week, every day in practice. And honestly, when you fly to the ball and the ball end up on the ground, you end up picking it up and being around the ball. That's what I focus on doing, just get around the ball as much as I can.
And how big was that? Because it gave you 21-6 lead. It really kind of stunted their momentum and really kind of gave you some at that point.
It put our offense in great field position. Without our offense giving them field position is going to help us get points on the board. And I want to do that as much as I can.
Trey, I know you're supposed to take it one game at a time, but you win on Saturday at Clemson. You're the division champs and go to the ACC championship game. What's the mindset now going into that one, coming up on Saturday?
Beat Clemson. Do what we need to do to beat Clemson. We're going to keep it simple. Not going to try to get into all the big things like that. It's a 1-week season going after pretty much the 24 hours is up. So our main goal is to beat Clemson.
Trey, what'd you think of the play of J.J. Roberts tonight in the secondary? Of course, he knocked the ball loose that he recovered.
Oh, say that again?
So what'd you think of the play of J.J. Roberts tonight in the secondary?
I'm proud of my boy. He made a hell of a play, and I'm proud of him. He knew what he was doing. He had a great week of practice, and honestly, when you practice well, you go out on the field, you know what you're doing, and you end up in the right position, and that's what he did today.
Trey, what would it take to help this defense pivot from last week and get back to where you're making stops and late in this game, like you guys did on a few series?
Focusing on the details. I mean, this whole week we was focusing on the smaller details, making sure that we're wrapping up when we tackle, making sure that we're knowing our assignments and being where we're supposed to be. And focusing on those small details are very pivotal in games like this, where it comes down to like literally one play. So I think that was the big advantage that we had going into this game.
Trey, could you take us through your experience on the field after the buzzer finally sound, when the team runs out, you guys are celebrating, the fans are coming onto the field? What was that like for you, and what were you doing down there?
Honestly, I had a rush of emotions. I mean, it was my senior night, last time playing on this field. We win a big game. I just had a flood of emotions. And I almost like I didn't know what to do, honestly. Yell, I mean, run around, congratulate my teammates, congratulate the coaches, all the people that was on the field, congratulate them. Like I'm just out there just running around, smiling, laughing, and screaming.
Anything else for Trey? All right, thank you.
No problem.
Questions for Sam?
Sam, if you can, just walk me through that game clinching drive, 6-minute plus drive, and what was going through your head, and at what point in that drive you guys kind of shifted the pacing, I guess, to kind of slow down a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I think we got a couple big third downs early in the drive to kind of get us out of our own territory. And then once we kind of got it rolling into their territory, we definitely slowed it down. And, the O-line tight ends did a great job, pounding that rock down the field once we got down there, and the receivers got open early. And, guys stepped up, and, it was one of those things where, I mean, it wasn't a pretty game by any means. A lot of mistakes, on my end, and, not very happy about that. But again, we pulled it out, and that's football in November. It's a championship game, and I'm just really proud of our, sticking to it, battling through injuries. And, that's what we do.
Sam, how confident are you throwing to all your receivers? You had 9 guys catch balls tonight. Q was out, but just how confident are you throwing to those guys?
Extremely confident. I mean, I've been the message all year is that we got a 2 deep of guys that know what they're doing and are go get the ball and make plays and make plays after they catch the ball as well. So it's just it's an honor to be kind of in my position and being able to work with those guys.
Sam, what did you see from Justice tonight as far as handling that extra responsibility, but also getting the 2 fourth quarter scores that he had to help his team win?
I mean, just resilience. He battled all game, and things weren't going great for any of us early. And I think he just, he stuck to the plan, stuck to the coaching, and really just battled hard, and that's what everyone did. And it was just cool to see him kind of mature throughout the game.
Sam, they scored 2 touchdowns right at the end of the first half, and then ran the opening kickoff for the second half back. What did you guys say to each other? You found yourself behind after dominating the first half. How did you guys react on the sideline? And could you, talk about your, the response that you guys had?
Yeah, I mean, we just kept reiterating just being us and doing our jobs. I mean, I think, like this, and with a team like NC State, they're going to make plays, and they're going to, they got good plays on their team, and they made a lot of plays, but we just stuck it out and, made the last couple plays count.
Sam, how happy are you to see Brandon Chapman have his best game receiving ever in his last game at Truist Field?
I mean, this is a testament to who Chap is. I mean, he's just a guy, he's a grinder, and he's, not in the spotlight like a lot of our, whatever skill position guys. And, but I mean, he does the dirty work. He gets in there and blows some punishing blocks, and has been, just doing his job all year. And, for him, it's very special. And I know it was just cool to obviously be a part of it, and really happy for him.
Anything else for Sam? All right, thank you. We got Brandon Chapman here. Questions for Brandon?
Hey, Brandon, congrats on the win tonight and your performance. Just walk me through emotionally what this night was like for you.
I mean, obviously senior night, last time playing in Truist Field. It's been a long time, 2 years. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears have been put in, and just the lead up and then finally playing the game. There was so much lead up, and finally when the ball was snapped, man, I mean, it went back to normal ball. But it was definitely really special, and it was really awesome to get the win.
And Brandon, what we saw from tonight, why didn't they throw the ball to you more over these last 3 or 4 years? Is that just tonight was your night?
I mean, we're in the situation that we're in because the game plan that Coach R puts in is a solid game plan every week. And I just so happened to be the guy to make those key catches, and at least for tonight. And that's just how it goes sometimes. It's sometimes you just got to get open. And I mean, that's kind of a good problem to have when we got such great receivers that bring it every week. And we haven't had to really throw to the tight ends. And I got my opportunity, and Blake got his opportunities, and we seized them.
Brandon, what was it like to get your first career touchdown reception on a stage of this magnitude in your final game at Truist Field?
Yeah, it's definitely an unreal feeling, but I'm super, super happy that, we came together as a unit and we found a way to win. And, it's always the 24-hour rule, and we're going to celebrate this and, get ready for next week.
Anything else for Brandon? All right. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.